Hello investors and welcome back to Just Randy Stocks. During this video I'll be covering Lucid Motors and what they did to get on my watch list and why they should be on yours too. If you're new to the channel, welcome back. I appreciate you watching, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, there are time sensitive videos sometimes that I do come out with. We talked about support.com. It didn't get a lot of views. And we talked about, what was it, Tattoo Chef also, when it was really low. So I'm a value investor. I like to tell you when the prices are low. This one is worth watching, and we're going to talk about why, and it's not just one thing. So without further ado, I hope you subscribe to the channel. I hope you give it a big thumbs up if you like this type of content. We're going to get straight into the video. All right, so the first thing I wanted to look at with you was this article that got me thinking about what happened with this price on August 31st to September 1st. I mean, it went off the cliff, and we'll look at the chart and you can actually see that. But Lucid Motors drops 19% ahead of the EV maker's first share lockup expiration since the SPAC merger. And this went down, let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong, but I think this went down into the $15 range. And trust me, if I'm wrong, people will let me know. They're really good at that. So we'll wait for your response below in the comments. But the point that I really want to make here is not only that this poses a potential great buying opportunity, but it makes me think of two things. Nothing has fundamentally changed about this company. And the other thing I ask myself is, if I'm an investor in Lucid, I want to make sure I understand, is there a small group of people that own a lot of this? So let's take a look at that, and we will. So the next thing I want to pull up is number 2, there's a catalyst, right? Catalyst could be a date that's coming up. That's a big announcement for the company. An unveiling battery day for Tesla is typically a catalyst, where the price likes to drop off immediately afterwards or leading up to. Or the flight that happened, the space flights that happen, price goes up and then it drops off, right? So Lucid announces this air production preview event in late September. So September 27th is the date. It's supposed to be a week long. The AMP, or the AMP1 factory, that's in Arizona. This is the advanced manufacturing plant. It looks like their engineers are going to be able to get together with media members, policymakers, and a select group of customers. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were some announcements that came out this week about how excited they are about this and how it's really going to give Tesla a run for their money. So let's take a look at this chart. And of course, we're going to go through some RSI dips a little bit later. But look at this cliff that I told you about earlier. I mean, when you've got a small group of people that own a lot of shares, they can dramatically impact this price. And, just that volume that took place that day was just absolutely incredible. So this is where you can find both shareholder and insider transactions. But what I want to do here is I looked at the 62% for, and let's back this up just one screen because I drilled into it here. But what you're able to do is go on to TIKR terminal, and you can take a look at ownership. So I'm going to click on this ownership tab, and I'm going to scroll up, and we're going to look at this public investment fund. So it's got a lot of people all wrapped up together. This public investment fund is 62.7%. And when I click on that, it takes me straight to Saudi as my first one. And you can see total number of shares as you scroll down. But Saudi pops up here in the top 2. And then we got Lucid Group. We got, then in number 4, we've got Saudi popping up again. So I would say do your research on Saudi and our relationship with Saudi. And if you do that, you'll come up to the Crown Prince, and the leadership might or may not have anything to do with these investment funds. But I would say he probably is very influential in that country. And I think most of you would agree. And this is just a great article to look at, because I think in Saudi, they think about where they're putting their money. Of course, here, my next play is saying not only who holds, but do they have a history of knowing what they're doing when they put a lot in a position? That's the second point I want to make. The next one is large ownership of insider. Now, we're going to talk about Patent Pete. So I like to call him Patent Pete. So right here we see it's 11% ownership inside. So I call him Patent Pete because Patent Pete used to work for Tesla, and he's got a number of patents. And you could find those and read through them, but who knows the cars better than the person who was involved with a lot of these patents? So 11% there. That would be my next stake to say pay attention. So of course we could go through the income statement and look at this on a quarterly basis and look at the potential gross margins that this company could have, but they haven't started producing yet. So feel free to go in here on Ticker Terminal and take a look at these also. But there is one last tweet, and this all comes around back to Patent Pete again, and Elon Musk talking about Rollins. So I call him Patent Pete, but he was never a chief engineer when he arrived to talk about the Model S prototype. When it was made, he left before things got tough, all this stuff, right? But the reason I bring that up is when I look at these RSI indicators, and there was a signal here on May 4th that was false to me, and it executed what was supposed to be a buy, that it was going to start trending up, and it did not. And so I looked up to see if that tweet potentially impacted the share price, just to show you how impactful some of these things could be. So it actually was at the bottom here, but the chart didn't tell. So what I like to look at is, can I believe the chart when I look at it? So a disclaimer here, when I'm looking at the dips on this RSI, I want to know that each time it went here to this point where it was signaling a buy. Now this is a trend indicator. The RSI is a trend indicator. So right now you could say it's clearly saying that it was in a downtrend. But every time this is in a downtrend and it's under that indicator, and it's in that 30, it's under the 30 range, it typically goes back up. So I wanted to check each one of these, and I believe there's enough evidence saying that this is going to start trending back up. So these are just a few of the things that you can incorporate in your toolkit. Of course, I like this at 15. I don't know if it's going to go back to that level. It's okay at 17. I don't think I would buy it at 18. It's just not a value play for me. And, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you'd like to see more of me covering Lucid, I know we didn't go very deep into this company, give the video a big thumbs up and leave me a comment in the comments below. That's all I got for you. I'm going to get this one out, and I'll see you in the next video.